Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to talk about GhostWire Tokyo, which had some gameplay drop yesterday, but we also got the system requirements for the game, so I want to highlight that. This is a game that's next-gen exclusive, so it's on PS5 and PC, and then it'll be coming to Xbox, I believe, next year. And then I also want to talk a little bit about Dying Light 2 Stay Human. The game just dropped. I played about an hour of it. You know, my initial impressions are going to be what they are, but I'll go through some stats that I found rather impressive. We'll take a look at that at the end of this video. But first up, GhostWire Tokyo is a game coming from Tango Gameworks, the guys behind The Evil Within, being published by Bethesda. Pretty interesting game. I was relatively impressed by the gameplay that we saw. It's a first-person single-player action title. You got some wild powers to use, and the themes and the setting of the game is fantastic, in my opinion. Visually looks quite good as well. So let's talk about the system requirements, because they're kind of beefy. Let's talk about it. Your mileage may vary on whether or not you consider this high-end. Some things are a little bit strange to me. Okay, so minimum requirements. So minimum CPU requirement, Core i7 4770K or an AMD Ryzen 5 2600. Now, obviously, an i7 4770K, couple generations old, but that's still a pretty notable CPU for a minimum CPU. It seems like that this is a game that is going to really utilize multiple threads, so take that for what you will, because it's also AMD Ryzen 5 2600. So yeah, minimum RAM requirement, 12 gigabytes of RAM. Okay. Really stepping away from 8 gigabytes being minimum here, so 12 gigs of RAM is minimum. And then you look at the GPU, and the GPU is a little interesting. NVIDIA GTX 1060 or an AMD RX 5500 XT. So GTX 1060 isn't that crazy, but in comparison to everything else, you know, that's a far lower end GPU than what you would expect out of a minimum CPU being an i7 and minimum RAM being 12 gigabytes of RAM, but take that for what you will. Recommended Core i7 6700 or AMD Ryzen 5 2600, 16 gigs of RAM recommended. And then a GTX 1080 or an RX 5600 XT. GTX 1080, again, nothing too crazy at this stage of the game. Like, recommended 1080 isn't wild, but it's unfortunate because I know a lot of people don't like to stick at the recommended area, but I know a lot of people that do have like a 1080 or even a 980 right now, just because, you know, typical for most PC gamers, you buy a GPU and then you take a generation or two off, and then you ultimately upgrade your GPU after a generation 2 or maybe even 3 generations for some people. So I know a lot of people right now have a 980 or a 1080 or a 970 or a 1070. And ideally, you'd probably want something a little bit higher end, especially if you're looking to play this game at 1440p or even 4K. The game is $60. Not a big fan of the deluxe edition being $80, and you don't really get much with it. You get streetwear outfit pack, Shinobi outfit, and kunai weapon. GhostWire Tokyo game, of course, as well. So what's the big deal? Why is it $20 more? You got 3 days early access to the game, so that's really what you're paying for there. Not a big fan of seeing games doing that. I know a lot of sports games are doing it. I know a lot of other games do it. Battlefield 2042 did it. Just not a trend I'm a big fan of in gaming right now, but we're seeing more and more games do that, where they're attaching quote-unquote early access to games that are with the deluxe editions, but really what it is they're postponing the release of the game for those of you that only want to drop $60. Shame on you for only spending $60. You should be spending $80. But nevertheless, that's kind of the world we're going to live in, where, you know, developers and publishers more so. It's the publishers. They got to make their money, and they're trying to, you know, increase their profit margins and whatnot. So that's kind of where we're getting into. All right, moving on from that, Dying Light 2 Stay Human dropped yesterday. It dropped yesterday at like 6 p.m. Eastern or something like that, 7 p.m. Eastern maybe. Jumped into it, played it for about an hour. I didn't have any of the crazy technical issues that a lot of people had, but I definitely noticed bugs, I definitely noticed glitches, and unfortunately I did notice a little bit of stuttering on my end. That's probably the worst thing that I noticed, but the game was definitely playable. I played it RTX 3080, maxed out, with ray tracing enabled at 1440p, and I was getting a pretty solid frame rate. I wasn't like monitoring the FPS, but the game ran pretty smooth for me. I was enjoying it, really digging the parkour gameplay, of course. Combat's pretty decent. Story's interesting right now, has a little bit of mystery, so I'm enjoying the game. I'm going to play more of it. It's only an hour, so it's going to be a long game. Probably going to at least take me 25, 30 hours to complete it. So yeah, $60, you know, that's always going to be a steep price point to pay. You can get it cheaper. Humble, if you have a Humble Choice subscription, you can get it for like $51 with a 15% off discount, so might be something you want to look at. But this game is doing incredibly well from a commercial standpoint by the looks of it. 230,000 people playing the game as of the recording of this video, which is ridiculous. That has to be significantly higher than the first game. And then also, right now, it is by far the top seller on Steam right now. So yeah, people are buying it right now. Also, as far as the Steam reception goes, mostly positive reception, 78% positive across 7,100 reviews. Obviously, the negative reviews at this point is from a technical standpoint. Frame rate, crashes, bugs, all of that stuff. You know, hopefully they do remedy those issues sooner rather than later. I believe a day one patch did drop, so hopefully that's going to make the game better for a lot of people. But yeah, bummer that happened. Because I do think if you alleviate the technical issues with this game, I think people would think a lot more highly of this game, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying. Right now, the game's sitting at like the high 70s on Metacritic, so not bad. But again, a lot of those reviews are always pointing on the technical issues. It's actually at an 80 for the PC version on Metacritic, so that's a pretty good score. And again, if they can get the technical issues figured out in like a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, as more updates also roll out. And you can find the game at an even deeper discount. You know, $51 is still a steep price point to pay. If you can get it for like $40 in 6 months, a lot of the issues are fixed up. This may, in retrospect, be seen as one of the better games of the year, but it's really going to come to Techland to fix a lot of the issues, because I would rather play this game without any stuttering right now. That's really the main issue that I've had, and I'll try to tinker with some of the settings, because again, I kind of just jumped into it, maxed everything out, and then jumped right into the game because I was eager to play. And I was also, like, super tired at the time, and I wanted to get at least a little bit of gameplay in before bed. So, yeah, I didn't really tinker around with it too much, but enjoying what I played so far. And, again, relatively interesting story as well. And visually, pretty good-looking game. And the parkour gameplay is definitely the standout. They're doing that really well once again, just like Dying Light 1. But that's going to do it for me, GhostWire Tokyo. System requirements a little bit strange. Very, very high CPU requirements, so we'll see how that turns out with the final product and how performance is. And Dying Light 2, let me know if you guys picked it up. Seems like a lot of people are buying it. I have a couple friends playing it right now, and yeah, 230,000 concurrent players is pretty insane, right on release day. But right now, it seems like the main issue most people are having is technical issues, and it seems like from my end, my issues aren't as bad as a lot of other people, because thankfully haven't gotten any crazy crashes or anything like that. But we're only an hour in, so, give it time. I might have jinxed myself. But that's going to do it for me. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.